Hello and welcome to the Dominion Daily for July 15th, 2025. We've got a Renaissance Kingdom. This is after a Renaissance plus base Kingdom yesterday, although it was pretty base heavy. I also feel like maybe last week was Renaissance on Tuesday, but I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. Anyway, we have Hideout, Priest, Treasurer trashing. We have draw from Lackeys, Silk Merchant, and Swashbuckler. We have plus actions from Academy, Acting Troop, Hideout, and Lackeys. There's also Capitalism, which can make actually quite a number of things non-terminal. Improve Cargo Ship, Priest, and Treasurer. We've got gains from Silk Merchant plus buy, and then there's also like improve can act sort of like an upgrade or remodel, and then treasure I suppose can pull treasures out of the trash if that's relevant. So I think there's no actual remodel, which means that we're not going to be able to do something like turn golds into provinces. So we are just going to have to buy provinces here. So we're going to, we're certainly going to want to like get thin. Got a lot of ways to do that. And then probably our primary village is going to be Academy plus Lackeys. I guess Acting Troop, I could see that coming into play. Hideout probably as well. But yeah, I don't know. I guess from a trashing perspective, Priest is the estate trasher of choice because Hideout you have to gain a curse. Treasure cannot trash estate. So I think we probably want to open with Priest. Although there's also Silk Merchant to consider. We could open. We have the 4/3, so we could open Silk Merchant Priest if we want to. Come back to that in a second. And then for copper trashing, it is usually nice to play with treasure because you're going to probably want to take the key anyway. Another thing that we can do, I mentioned that the treasure, being able to take treasures out of the trash, that's conceivably relevant for feeding Hideout if we want that as a sustained source of plus actions. Not sure if we'll need that or not. I think we'll just kind of have to see how things play out. Yeah, so if we think that we're going to be able to have like enough plus actions that from like that Academy will do a lot of work, for example, then I think opening Silk Priest looks pretty good. We accelerate faster through the shuffle. If we're worried about terminal space, then possibly we go like Priest Lackeys, which is pretty similar, but we don't get the plus buy going. But we get as much draw and we get more actions. Yeah, the main reason to want the plus buy from Silk Merchant early is to be able to pick up the cheap stuff like Lackeys and Border Guard. But most likely... If we don't hit 5, we end up buying like a Silk Merchant at that point, and then we have some plus buy in our deck. Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards Priest, Lackeys. Getting the extra Villager seems good, and I don't think we super need the plus buy right off the bat. There's expensive stuff that we want, so if we get a bunch of money, we can just buy that. It is also possible that we will take capitalism. Like, that's a lot of the terminal space that we would want to spend. We'd want to spend on cards. Maybe not a lot, but Treasurer and Priest. And I could definitely see wanting to play with Cargo Ship at some point. Alright, so we're going to hit 5 here. And then next turn, we've got 4 coins down there. If we see it all, we'll take a Silk Merchant. If we don't, I don't know. But I'm thinking... We might want Academy pretty soon, but this is only 5 we're going to hit this shuffle, so I'm thinking Treasurer is the play. Okay, we are going to see all the money, and yeah, I think this should be Silk Merchant now. Ooh, well that's friggin' gross and uncalled for. I mean, I guess we do have 4. Huh. So we've got 3 terminals in there and 3 villagers, right? Lackey's, Priest, Treasurer, and then... No, 4 terminals. Lackey's, Priest, Treasurer, Silk Merchant. We take a village now, though, it's not really going to help with that. But maybe we still want a hideout for that reason. Also, getting thinner faster is not exactly a bad thing. Okay, do we trigger the shuffle here? I think so. Just gonna burn all of our villagers, I suppose. Do we need to contest the key? Probably a good idea. We certainly don't need like more money this turn. Alright, now might be the time to grab Academy and another Silk Merchant. The Swashbuckler. Oh my god. Well, alright, I think we just take Lackeys here. Can we find our hideout? Okay, we can. Do we want to play the Priest first? We have another Lackey's down there, so like, in theory, if we find it, we make good use of both of the hideout actions, but the odds are that we won't. I think I'm not going to worry about that. I mean, it actually would be nice to have the extra money, though. Yeah, I think I changed my mind. Okay. We've got a Lackeys down there. We just trashed a couple cards. We're going to draw pretty well next turn. I think it's time to start thinking about payload. Also need to, you know, pump up our villagers, but we could also take capitalism as a way of helping with that. Like capitalism, cargo ship, lackeys or something. Although, yeah, we can't like get money from priest off of hideout if we're playing priest in the buy phase, but they have 3 coffers to go with that swashbuckler, so they might be able to get that treasure chest real fast. That's the other thing. The problem with that for us is that we don't, like, we would need a border guard to activate the swashbuckler. Even then, it's not particularly likely that we do. I'm not sure if it's worth worrying about. Yeah. I think I'm gonna go with the cargo ship lackeys option. Yeah, they got the chest already. That seems... I don't know, maybe it's because they're like less than, but that seems unexpected. Oh, we really bottom decked that hideout, huh? Well, once again, should we... that last card is our estate, though. It's really annoying. We could go in for that now. Cargo ship either the swashbuckler or the border guard. I think... They have 5 silk merchants? Oh my god. And somehow they're burning villagers slower than I am? How does that make any sense? Or did they just get a bunch back? They got 4 back. Yeah, I guess that's all that it is. Well... I think I do want to go ship a border guard. Let's just try this. Okay, we can activate. We still won't have that many coffers. Just gonna buy all the fucking silk merchants. It's so obnoxious. They are, I would think, gonna run out of villagers at this rate, but maybe they're not. Maybe they just keep buying lackeys or something. I don't know. Yeah, and I have like way more draw than I need. We have overthinned here. Worth spending a villager to get 1 extra coin? I don't know. Probably not. Well, I want another treasure now. Yeah, I'm gonna say it is. Alright, do we trash a copper or do we trash a lackeys? I think we trash a lackeys. Another border guard. Cargo shipped. Another treasurer. And we could just take another lackeys to replace the one we just trashed. Sure. Uh-huh. Alright. So they were punished a little bit for their lack of deck control. Which one is which? Damn it. Pretty sure Horn is the one that I want. Yeah. Oh, we should have gotten... No, there was no way for us to get another coffer, right. That's annoying. Guess there's no reason to play this hideout. Oh, we have the key. Interesting. We can do priest, trash, copper, treasurer, trash, copper, treasurer, gain copper. Will not set that aside. Take another treasurer. Another priest too. Having only 3 buys is really annoying. I think I'm gonna set aside a swashbuckler. We know we get to top deck the border guard, so. Hey. Wait. I thought they took the horn. Oh, no, they took the land. Okay. Alright, I guess we're not in the hideout. At least not swashbucklers. That's probably fine. We could probably go ahead and activate the priest here. What did we discard? Priest, treasure, and a lackeys. So we priest like a lackeys. Priest. Do we need this much money? I'm not sure. Maybe not. All right, take the key. Gain a treasure. Crash it. Treasure. Next turn we might want that much money, but I think this turn I wasn't really looking to triple anyway. And we could take an improve. Improve into a duchy. Oh, wow. Well, okay. I was not expecting them to dud so soon again, but I shan't complain. So if we take 3 provinces and a duchy here, how do they win? I mean, they probably just don't, right? Play the hideout and have that be the card that we improve. Or we can just improve a priest or a silk merchant. Uh... We're not going to get much in the way of villagers this turn. In fact, we're not going to get any villagers. We probably don't want to lose the hideout or the villager that we'd need to play it, so... Well, I mean, we could turn Silk Merchant into a duchy, and then we get a villager from that. But I still think we want to keep the villager we have, and the hideout. Okay, so... We've already got the key. We trash a lackeys. Probably prefer not to. We could trash the gold and then get that back. That's more money than we need. So we should set it aside, actually. Problem with trashing a Silk Merchant is we lose the plus buy. Just occurs to me. It's hard to see how that's going to matter. I mean, it's 1 gain now versus 1 gain later. I mean, we could trash the priest. And we lose a villager, or we like opportunity cost wise, we lose out on a villager. We have, I mean, we are set on hitting province, so like there's just no way that that matters. It's just like it shouldn't matter either way, really. Like, in what world do we need to do more than get province next turn? Okay, well, they got pretty close. How many duchies did they take there? It's like weird how this gets listed, but 1, 2, 3 duchies. Okay. So the province got them to 21, and 3 duchies got them to 30. Yeah. So, yeah, the improve did actually make all the difference. I have no idea whether their deck like would have been capable of more if they had like how many silk merchants did they play? 1, 2, 3. I mean, I guess the reason they trashed this silk merchant is because they didn't have the money to get another duchy anyway. These silk merchants were in the trash. 3, and I had 2, so they still had 5, and they only played 1, 2, 3 of them. So that, I mean, they may have just. So their hand was silk merchant, gold, gold, copper estate. So they just, I mean, they really did not get thin. They just stuffed silk merchants in their deck, and I sure would have liked more silk merchants, but I do think having deck control was good. So they play a silk merchant, draw lackey silk merchant. Play silk merchant, draw gold silk merchant. Play silk merchant, draw hideout border guard. Okay, so then at this point they don't have any silk merchants in their hand. Play border guard. Take treasure over swashbuckler for whatever reason. Play hideout, draw and trash a silk merchant. And this is with a copper in their hand. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, they still had 2 villagers left. Like, surely they should have. Maybe they know that, like, the cards coming up at this point are just green or something. I don't know. Like, playing that silk merchant wouldn't have done anything. Well, I guess they would have only had 1 villager left because they did trash silk merchant to get one of those 2 villagers. But, you know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how many golds did they have? That's all their gold. So I had 2. And they only had 3 coppers. So they didn't really have they had 2 coppers that they didn't play. Yeah, maybe there was just no way for them to reach it. Because they were thinner than I thought. I guess they just didn't trash estates. They trashed copper, but they didn't trash estate. That makes sense. They had treasure, although they took the key like every time. I guess it was the hideout that trashed the coppers. But yeah, not trashing your estates looks pretty bad to me. Pretty bad. 3. Yeah, so that's 2 coins they didn't have. Swashbuckler could have gotten them 1 more coin if it had activated. Treasurer, I assume... No, they took the key. So Treasurer could have gotten them another coin. And they had a coffer left. So if they had drawn everything, and they had activated Swashbuckler, taken a copper out of the trash, then they could have gotten 1 more duchy, assuming they also played another silk merchant. But probably they would not have had the actions to do that. Oh no, they wouldn't have had the coffer because they wouldn't have trashed the silk merchant. So no, they would have been a coin short, even if they had the actions to play everything, which I think they did not. they wouldn't have been able to hit like the coffer that they would have gotten. Like they would have needed to play the Silk Merchant to get the additional buy, but then they wouldn't have gotten this coffer. So it would have been, the coffer would have been replaced by the Swashbuckler coffer, and then 3 coppers, 2 from the deck, 1 from Treasurer. So yeah, I think it was actually literally impossible for the bot to get a tie here. I mean, although technically for the daily, if you get a tie, it's a win, which is one reason why, like, I definitely was not able to lose at this point. But yeah, I obviously would prefer to just get a clean win. So yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, I would have, of course, loved to have more Silk Merchants and have more buys. Mostly for Academy, really, like having some extra buys that I could, like, you know, get a few more Border Guards or Lackeys and just have more actions, and then also as a secondary effect have more stuff that I could trash with Priest to get money, and then if you combine those two things, maybe I can have like a, you know, a 4 or 5 province turn. But I don't really think like there was a point where, I mean, maybe I should have ignored the Swashbuckler thing, like not tried to get the golds and just taken Silk Merchants instead, and then like either get the chest later or just not get it at all and not care that I don't have gold. I'm not really sure about that part, but certainly I think, you know, trashing your estates is good, getting deck control is good. They also like were in a position where like Academy was the only reason their deck was functional, and then once the Silk Merchants ran out, I mean, they could have bought more Lackeys to keep it going, but they transitioned to greening and then kind of didn't have that. I mean, I guess they did buy a Lackeys the second to last turn for that reason. But yeah, for my part, I think capitalism actually worked out pretty nicely. It saved me a lot of villagers, and I think having to play with more hideouts would have been annoying. So I'm glad I picked that up. I still don't feel like totally great about how things went. I mean, sometimes the bot just goes really hard for some pile, and it's like you feel bad that you don't get more cards from that pile, but it's not necessarily incorrect to like have that result if everything else that's going on is like, you know, putting you in a better spot. So I mean, I'm still a little torn on, you know, like, should I have had more Silk Merchants? But, you know, other than that, I feel pretty good about how this played out. And I'm pretty happy with having taken that late improve and how that played out as well. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.